I mean, you knew it was going to happen. Of course, a Nintendo Direct gets announced after Newswave went up, like seriously an hour afterwards. And it's just, you know what? That's just the burden I have to bear. Nintendo's always watching, clearly. No, the Nintendo Direct that was announced for tomorrow does have some people confused, excited, frustrated. It's a mix of all emotions online right now. But the thing that I was really happy about here is, I think with this Direct announcement, what I figured was going to be the lineup for release with Nintendo's 3 big titles from first party for 2025, at least we think mostly 2025, is going to end up being correct. And I feel like it's kind of set now where everything's coming out, but that's what we're going to go over here today. So if you guys enjoy the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. So the Direct that was announced for tomorrow, and they really showed up and giving us 24-hour notice here, Kirby Air Riders. Okay, so it's a Direct that's airing 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, and it's a Kirby Air Riders Direct with director Mr. Sakurai. The live stream presentation will last roughly 45 minutes and provide an in-depth look at the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 game. This confused a lot of people, specifically the 45-minute runtime. And here's the thing. As soon as I read Kirby Air Riders Direct, and that Sakurai would be doing the presentation, the 45-minute mark does not surprise me at all. I have seen this man spend 30 plus minutes on a single Smash fighter. So 45 minutes for him going over an entire game that we haven't seen gameplay for yet. I mean, that's light work for him. That he might be rushed in those 45 minutes. Okay, so that's the thing. Sakurai, what we could see from him here with this Kirby Air Riders Direct is him getting really in depth with different mechanics for it, so that's the good thing about this. Is the thing I will give Sakurai is he's very good at breaking things down to a base level with mechanics or elements of the game, or for, as we've seen for years now, different fighters in what can be a pretty intricate setup with the number of different combinations in Smash Brothers, and will really try to explain it to people in the simplest terms. So when you take something like Kirby Air Riders, you start to think, what could he have in store for a game that, look, when it came out on the GameCube, it's one of the games, which I have right here, like it's a game that I have in my collection, of course, with the GameCube, but it's a game that I look back on certainly with the nostalgia glasses. I understand it wasn't reviewed well. Like if I look it up now on Metacritic, I believe on the GameCube, it came in at a 61. So it's not a game that reviewed incredible or anything. You can see it there, a 61. And part of that had to do, people have said that the premise, the strange controls, and what we ended up finding out later on, and this was just a few years ago, at least to my knowledge, we found out, I didn't know anything about this before, was Sakurai he had the whole series of YouTube videos where he talked about development process and all kinds of stuff behind the scenes and kind of workflow. He mentioned for Kirby Air Riders, which got an entire video just dedicated to it, that they ended up having to go back to the drawing board for the gameplay elements of it, just making it function and work. And it took them 3.5 months to get it done, which is extremely fast. They almost did a speed run of the game overall. Now, the assets and the levels, he said, were already done. So a lot of the stuff on the art side, but the mechanics of the game functioning, they had to get done in 3.5 months, and they did. But it does make me wonder if Sakurai looks at this as almost like a do-over. It's like, I get another shot at a game that maybe is that thing that he looks back on and is like, what could have been if the game wasn't struggling in development? He was up front. Hey, the game, they were having a hard time. I had to go back to my director role there. And if you consider the fact that he has been just doing Smash Brothers, weird path off to doing Kid Icarus, Smash Brothers, it's not very often that he gets to do something other than Smash. So him coming back to Kirby Air Ride back then, clearly he wanted the game to be decent or at least just come out. So here he is now with a game that he's been able to spend more time with. I mean, we figure he's been working on this thing for 3 years potentially, and that's way more than 3.5 months for getting the majority of the game done. And that does make me wonder what ideas he has in place. I think back to Kirby Air Ride on the GameCube as one of those multiplayer games, as in I probably wouldn't have had as much fun with it if I didn't have a bunch of friends or brothers or whoever to play the game with, right? That is kind of that time period back then, Nintendo 64 to GameCube, where it was all about the multiplayer. There were 4 controller ports for a reason. It's because most games, especially from Nintendo, try to take advantage of it just about across the board. But that was a game where Nintendo had this like achievement kind of system in place that Sakurai wanted to implement. So maybe that's something he builds on here. Maybe there's just a more robust, just single player mode, an adventure style mode. So there's a lot of possibility here, and I'll be very curious to see what he has up his sleeve here for Kirby Air Riders after 20 years or so from the original one on the GameCube. Now, why is there frustration around this announcement? Well, to be frank, it seems to be mostly from Metroid Prime 4 hopefuls, which I am included in that because the game got announced forever ago now, literally months after the Switch 1 came out in 2017, and we're still waiting for it. So when you see this announcement for a game that got announced months ago, you go, hold on, Nintendo, what are we doing here? Where's Metroid Prime 4? Well, I mentioned I think the lineup for these releases is just about set now. I think Kirby Air Riders is coming out in September. I feel like that is their September game. If I had to take a guess on a release date, I would say probably either the 18th or the 25th, and I'm tempted to go with the 25th only because the 18th is going to be less than a month after this Direct. So I will go with September 25th for Kirby Air Riders. That'll then lead into October with Pokemon Legends ZA. That's out in the 3rd week or so of October. And then for November, I believe it's Metroid Prime 4, and I think that will come out just before Thanksgiving. So that'll actually be okay, about halfway through, either the 13th or 20th. Okay, so I think we're gonna see basically that kind of a lineup. All right, Kirby Air Rider September, Pokemon Legends ZA in October, and then Metro Prime 4 in November. I'm curious if Age of Imprisonment makes it into 2025, and it's one of those releases where it comes out in the first 10 days of December, or if they opt to have that release in January or February of next year, since they're still relying on winter as the release timing for it. And we know that can end up in 2026 with that in mind. But that's mostly why there is frustration and back and forth online around this announcement, and people actually kind of annoyed at Kirby because of this. So for the Metroid Prime 4 hopefuls out there, I would look towards the general Nintendo Direct. It's very clear that Kirby Air Riders wouldn't be able to wait long enough for that Direct to happen. Even if it happened in the first week of September, I mean, that means the game would be out in 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks. And I just don't think that would line up well for Nintendo. And the fact that Sakurai clearly wants to explain a bunch of stuff about this game. You wouldn't do a general Direct and then be like, hey, tune in next week for the specific Kirby Air Riders Direct. It wouldn't line up. So they have to get it out now. And I mean, they were pretty quick about it. Hey, we're going to announce this and it's happening in 24 hours. It's 45 minutes. And then it'll probably be out a month after that airs. So we'll see what Sakurai has in store for us tomorrow with this Kirby Air Riders Direct. Should see gameplay, release date, any interesting twist on either mechanics for that gameplay, or maybe just additional modes or content that we weren't necessarily expecting. One thing's for sure though, it's going to be a busy day tomorrow. It's going to kick off with this Direct. Then we're going to go into some sort of Tales of presentation that we're expecting at minimum a remaster. And then we have Gamescom later on in the day. So a lot of stuff, a lot of news. You'll probably see at least one additional video tomorrow from me, maybe going over this Kirby Air Riders Direct. We'll see, but it's gonna be quite a busy day, and I'm looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun. But let me know what you guys think about this one down below. Are you excited to see the Kirby Air Riders Direct, and what are you hoping most to see out of it? Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.